This program is part of American Graduate. Let's make it happen. A public media initiative made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
You know, I wanted all these big things in life, like to own my own home and to own a nice sports car and not have to go steal it, to be able to feed my children properly, clothe them properly, send them to better schools than I went to. My mentors and my teachers made me realize how much money a high school dropout makes compared to a college graduate. It made me realize that I needed to go to college.
The gap between rich and poor is growing in this country. And the single biggest indicator of whether you're going to participate in the haves rather than the have-nots is whether you got a college education.
Our colleges are really good at developing students that are college-level performers that transfer to four-year university. They're great at developing workers that are going to go into knowledge work industries, you know, radiologic technology and nursing and computer support specialists, medical assisting. They're really good at this. What they're not good at is helping these students that drop out of school or don't feel like they're college material or come from families that may not understand it. They're not good at getting those students to become good college students.
My first moment on my college campus, here's this 1.9 GPA high school graduate, former gang member, former delinquent, former dropout, showing up to a college campus. I mean, I felt like I was landed on planet Mars and unequipped, unprepared.
Look, we'd all love for every one of the students entering our institutions to be fully prepared. The question isn't what we wish for, the question is what do we have? Community colleges, 2/3 of all community college students arrive underprepared. If colleges are going to fulfill their open access mission, if community colleges are going to help those students succeed, they have to do something radically different than they've done in the past.
What I find is that students need to become good executives.
My name is Diego Navarro, and I work for Cabrillo College.
You should know how to run.
The Academy for College Excellence program is a program for underprepared college students. So students who are coming from environments where the schools were underperforming or something happened in their lives where they disconnected from education.
I had pretty much lost hope when I came here to Cabrillo to begin with. It was my trying to rebuild hope. I had lost my job, everything I owned.
ACE started as an intervention, as an alternative to prisons. And so we do end up having a population with a lot of students that are considered not just high risk, but ultra high risk. We have a lot of students who have been formerly incarcerated. We have a lot of students who are overcoming addictions. We have a lot of students who have grown up in abusive households.
There was a lot of violence in the home growing up. And my mom and we split up, our family split up when I was in 8th grade, and I went to live with my grandparents.
I took a dark road. It started off in high school, drugs, alcohol, or however I could get out of my own skin. I did a lot of drugs for a lot of years.
I dropped out my senior year. I was in a car accident that my best friend died in, Jesse Seligman. And going back to school after that, although I was on track to graduate, I would look at books and papers and the words would just float off the page and I just couldn't concentrate.
There's something that has these students go off track. It may not be academics, it may be something else. It has to do with their spirit. It has to do with the feelings they have.
I used to always associate PTSD with the military. There's no way I could have it. And it ends up, anybody that's, suffered through a traumatic experience potentially has, some form of PTSD.
Stanford became really interested in this topic of post-traumatic stress. So they developed this index for returning combat veterans. And then they took that index and they went to an inner city school and they applied the same thing to elementary school students, the same index. And what they found was the PTSD symptoms of these elementary school students was 2 times higher than in returning combat veterans, because these younger people are facing it at a younger age, so their brains aren't fully developed yet. And many of our students come from tough neighborhoods, and so what happens is that the experiences you have in school, the experiences you have walking to school, the experiences you have interacting with individuals in these environments create a stress inside of you. So what we do is we bring these students in, we put them through a program that actually aligns with how the brain functions. When your needs aren't being met or your needs are being threatened, you go into bioreaction. We actually have curriculum in the classroom that does the shift inside of the student. So instead of providing the service from the outside, we have the student make the change from the inside. Okay? It's not counseling, it's education, where we have them rethink what their school experience was and how do they want it to be different. They start out in this intensive 2 weeks. And the reason why we do an intensive is that if you want to change your identity, your image, you need to have school become the dominant thing in your life rather than everything else that pulls you away from school.
A lot of it wasn't so much the understanding the material. A lot of it was just, well, how much time am I putting in? And I really wasn't putting time. College wasn't my priority. Men was my priority. Relationships was my priority.
The ACE program is a cohort-based program where you go through all the same classes with the same group of people, so you get to know everyone and you build relationships.
And you learn that you can apply yourself in different ways and that you can learn to partner up with others that, say, have a different working style that's complementary to yours.
And to just see these students learning how to communicate more effectively, that's really rewarding. That curriculum is so powerful and rich. Just in those 2 weeks alone, you see a tremendous amount of transformation in the students.
When we went through the listening portion, I learned how to become a better listener, how not to interrupt, how not to eat while you're talking, how to really listen for people's needs and wants, not just listen and then, get them to be quiet so you can talk.
So those 2 weeks reorient the students because they're spending more time in school than they're spending in the rest of their life. So they start to develop this identity. I'm here in college now. It creates this gravity, this gravitas. They feel this connection with this identity of being a college student, and I belong here. From that, we put them into a rigorous, about 13-unit semester, courses that are one level below college. So get them to one level below college. If they pass that course, now they're at college level. So in one semester, you get them ready for college level performance.
I learned that there is no wrong answer, that it's all a learning experience. And I learned that it's okay, this is how I learn. This is a part of me.
When we say it's okay to make mistakes, they're like, what? Because a lot of them have been punished for making mistakes. And that's when they start to open up and start to ask questions, and really their voices just blossom.
It gave me the skills and the mentality and the courage to go against the grain, to be that student that the teachers enjoy having in their class, because I'm always participating and I'm always raising my hand, asking questions and going to office hours.
And after that full semester in ACE, I got straight A's. First time ever in my life. That was just huge, and it really opened my eyes. And in turn, my kids saw that when they were just starting grade school, and I saw the look in their eyes and their aspiration and their longing to go to school, and it really gave me that sense of completion.
When I first came here to Cabrillo College, I just knew that I was going to school, but I was kind of just going through the motions. I wasn't really headed towards a career. I was just taking classes. But now, not only do I want to transfer to a university, to CSUMB Monterey Bay, I want to actually continue on to get my master's and a PhD. I want Dr. Francesca Lopez, not just Francesca Lopez.